What's up you guys, Antonio here. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at how much a Google software engineer makes in Silicon Valley, the Bay Area of California. Now, the reason this is important to know is because whether you're trying to move here, switch careers, you're living here and you're trying to switch from another company potentially over to Google, whatever your situation is, you need to know what you're going to be taking home gross. You need to know what your real take home after that is, after taxes, because it can vary greatly depending on to which bracket you fall in. And that's why we're going to be doing a little scenario where I run through all of the taxes based on if you were making $150,000 at Google and you were living by yourself. So that's the scenario we're going to be doing. And I'm also going to be adding into that scenario afterwards, what would it be like if you were also trying to purchase a home, and how much money would you be looking at in realistically having after you are purchasing that home and having to make mortgage payments and pay your down payment and do all of that. So let's get into it. So first things first, we're going to be going over the 3 different categories you're going to be considering for most tech positions in the Bay Area, and this is going to be your base pay, your stock incentives, and what your sign-on bonus is going to be. And those are going to be the 3 things that you're going to be comparing between companies to determine, hey, I want to work here, or hey, I want to work here. Free food and all of that aside, which is obviously something that Google offers, which a lot of other companies don't. So you can also take that into account when it comes to your budgeting and all of that. But for the purposes of this scenario, we're just going to leave all of that kind of, extra little incentives they provide out of this and just be grossly comparing the salaries, bonuses, and stocks and all of that kind of stuff. All right, you guys, so hopping right into the computer, we've got levels.fyi. And this is a web page where you're able to check out all the different positions. You can type in the different companies. As you can see, 2 hours ago, 7 hours ago, 11 hours ago, 15 hours ago, people are submitting constantly how much they're making. I don't know why. I wouldn't go out of my way to do something like that, but other people are, so to our benefit. Now, we've got Microsoft that has a bunch of tiers. We've got Facebook with the least amount. We've got Google with the medium amount of tiers, medium amount of promotions you can get within their structure. Doesn't matter what they call it, L3, E3, SDE, Senior SDE, Staff SWE for Google, whatever. It's just, you get the base job and you start working through the promotions. It's a ladder. Simple as that. Now, we've got 3 different things we're going to be taking a look at. For L3 at Google, salary, you're looking at about 120 grand. For the stock, you're looking at 41 grand, and for the bonuses, 20,000. Now, if you go and you click on view full details, or you can do view a few data points, you'll be able to check out a bunch of stuff at once. Or, let's see, let me re-click over here. You can click full details, and I like to check this out because the average total compensation it's going to show you is going to be $184,000. It's going to show you the base pay is typically $121,000 with a $41,000 stock grant and a bonus of $20,000. Now, if you go down here, this graph is one of the more helpful ones. It shows you what you're going to be making, not averaged out, but at basically the bare minimum. The very lowest guy, L3 Distributed Systems on the back end, is only making, only $149,000 total compensation. That includes a base pay of $120,000, a stock bonus of $24,000, and a bonus of $5,000. Towards the middle of L3, we've got $125,000 for base pay, $40,000 in stocks, and a bonus of $20,000. At the upper end, we've got $134,000 for base pay, $65,000 in stocks, and a bonus of $20,000. For the lower end of L4, networking, we've got $143,000 for the base, stock is $35,000, and the bonus is 30 grand. For the middle of L4, we've got $144,000, the stock is going to be $74,000, and the bonus is going to be $25,000. For the upper end of L4, for ML and AI development, we've got a base pay of 160 grand. The stock is going to be 124,000 and the bonus is going to be 24 grand. Now for L5 Android development in Mountain View, California, we've got a base pay of 170 grand on the lower end, stock bonus of 70 grand, and a bonus of $25,000. Towards the middle of that, for a, let's not do the ML again, distributed systems back-end worker, we've got a base pay of $174,000, stock bonus of 150 grand, and a bonus of $26,000, with years at the company being 3 and total years of experience being 8. Then at the upper end of that, we've got the L5 distributed systems backend. The base pay is $214,000, stock bonus is $158,000, and the bonus is $48,000. For the lower end of L6, we've got $205,000 for base pay, $160 grand in stocks, and a bonus of $40 grand. Towards the middle, $218,000 for base, stock bonus of $220,000, and a bonus of $48 grand. For L6 distributed systems backend development, at the very top, for somebody working in Mountain View, California, we've got a base pay of $240 grand, stock bonuses of $312,000, and a bonus of $48 grand. Now it's interesting to see the guy right before him got a bonus of $300 grand and a stock of $56,000, so it was kind of flipped. And you know, depending on your tax situation, it might be a little bit better to spread that money out and get that much worth of stocks, you know, over a long period of time, as opposed to getting the bonus of 300 grand, because you're probably going to be taxed very heavily on that bonus. So I think the guy at the top probably made out a lot better in terms of long term. Now, for L7 Android, we've got Mountain View, California, and this guy's making $267,000. The stock bonus is $189,000, and a bonus of 78 grand. Years at company being 10, years of experience being 20. And towards the middle, we've got a full stack developer making $255,000, stock bonus of 305 grand, and a bonus of $80,000. Years at the company 12, and years of experience being 12 total. So looks like he started there. For a full stack developer in Zurich, Switzerland, we've got 300 grand, and I'm trying to find another California one. Okay, so for the highest paid person for L7 in the development, we've got 266,000, stock bonus of 313,000, and a bonus of 110,000, with the years of the company being 13 and years of experience being 20. Now, let's see if there's any other interesting stuff on this page. Nope. So let's take a look at this one. So we've got salaryproject.com. It's a similar graph, tells you pretty much the same thing, but it's a little bit bigger, so it's easier to see that there's about a 10 to 15% overlap in between each tier, with that overlap getting kind of small right here. But this, bear in mind, we don't have all the data points. I'd imagine it would be about the same, about consistent going all the way through, especially since from L5 to L6, you're looking at about the same gap that you have up here. So some people that are in the, you know, lower promotion on, you know, the lower promotion tier, they could be making more money than the person right above them. So they potentially could be taking a pay cut if they were to promote to the L4 but get the position over in Boulder, Colorado, say, or if they moved over to Seattle, something like that, but making $10,000, $20,000 less, but living in a place that costs you $50,000, $60,000 less every year, is something that you would have to consider, obviously. Now, this is another way to look at it. They've got the 25th percentile being 122,000, the average being 190,000, the 75th percentile being 234,000, and the top earners being 314 grand. But another interesting thing to look at here, because this is obviously going to help you determine which, you know, which route you want to go when it comes to software engineering and all of that. So we've got the base software engineer making 169 to 229K. We've got the senior software engineers making 206 to 280. The staff software engineers making 230 to 309. The hardware engineers making 160 to 214,000. And the software engineer and test making 162 to 210,000. And the test engineers making 138K to 192,000. Now, you can also see on this site, so pesa.com, it gives you the best paying jobs at Google. And we've got senior engineering, principal business analyst, senior staff software, and group project manager. And yeah, so it's got those 5 right there. And right here, yeah, this is what I was looking for. You're able to click on the different companies and compare how much money you would be making at each of these different companies. So this is going to be a pretty worthwhile tool if you're trying to compare, hey, I'm working at this company here, what's my room for growth in this company, and where should I go? All right, you guys, so if you just wanted to see how much you're gonna make at Google and just the gross numbers, last part of the video is for you. If you want it broken down a little bit further, this part is gonna be for you. So first thing we're gonna be taking a look at is the federal income tax. And this tax applies no matter what state you're in, and it's completely dependent on the individual person. People who can itemize some of the deductions will have a lower tax liability, as will those who max out their retirement plan contributions. But to keep it simple, we're going to make some assumptions. We're going to assume that the standard tax deduction of $24,000 is what you're going for, because this is what 90% of Americans do, especially if you're making a lot of money and you're not able to benefit from some of the tax deductions that you would be able to if you were making less money. And for this scenario, you're making 150 grand, which is, you're going to be taking this 24,000. Now, we're only going to be considering a single breadwinner, because if you were married and filing jointly, you would possibly be able to get $54,000 in tax deductions, leaving you with a much smaller taxable income, therefore changing our final number. Now, if you Google the federal income tax brackets, you'll see that $150,000 of taxable income is at about the top of the 4th bracket. But because of the $24,000 standard deduction, you won't be close to this number unless you got a fairly large sign-on bonus, and it's currently your first year at Google having to account for that. Now, looking at and this is one reason that you may not want to take that $300,000 bonus that we saw earlier. You may want to take the stocks over a period of 4 years, with some companies having a cliff where you have to wait a year before you're even eligible to essentially wait those 4 years to get the stocks. And you're going to want to do that so you're not being taxed in these higher tax brackets, having 30-40% of that 300 grand taken away in the first year. And plus capital gains taxes and all of that, which can be anywhere from 10 to 37% on top of the normal taxes, I'm pretty sure. So looking at the numbers now, we have a Google employee bringing in $150,000 with a $24,000 deduction, bringing the taxable income down to around 125 grand, being taxed at 24%. And basically how it works is, in this tax bracket, you're going to owe $14,089 plus 24% over the what was this number, $82,500. So if you're making over $82,500, everything after that is going to be taxed at 24%. And basically what this number works out to is $125,000, which is your taxable income, minus $82,500, which equals $42,500 of taxable income, times 0.24, which equals $10,200 in taxes, which brings our total taxes, boop, 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 to $24,089. So our total taxes are going to be $24,089 for the federal income tax. And then next, we're gonna take a look at the FICA tax. So the FICA tax is the tax that's assessed on your income in order to cover Social Security and Medicare. For this, if your total income is earned by one single person or the spouse, the 7.65% tax rate that applies is going to end at $132,000, $132,900. And only the Medicare tax of 1.45% will apply after that, which brings our total FICA tax up to $10,166 plus $247, or $10,413. Essentially what all that means is you're going to be taxed at about an 8% rate up to $132,900, and anything over that is going to be taxed at the 1% rate. But we're at about $150,000, so that 1% for the last 18 grand or so isn't gonna do too much. But yeah, our FICA tax is gonna end up at $10,413. Now for state taxes, California has the highest state tax, topping out at around 12%, and the bottom end is going to be around 1%. But for this scenario, we're going to have a marginal tax rate of 9.30% and an effective tax rate of 7.20%, which leaves us at about $10,794 for our tax, for our state taxes. So as you can see, this all starts to add up, and the more money you make, if you're not, doing what Robert Kiyosaki says and making your money work for you, and you're working for your money as a doctor, lawyer, software engineer, whatever it is, you're being taxed out the ass. Now, this is going to mean that our total taxes for all of these is going to end up around $45,296. But if you use the smartasset.com Quick California tax calculator, it's going to give you $48,339 for taxes on $150,000 income. And since that's close to what I got, and they're probably better with their math than I am, I'm just going to go with that $48,000 number. And that's going to bring your total take-home pay to around $101,661. Now, let's say you want to purchase a house and you're able to find a single-family home in Santa Clara around the ceiling gap, which is going to be, let's see if I can pull it up right here. So you have a ceiling in Santa Clara County for how much a traditional bank can give you for an FHA loan, and that's going to be $726,525. So to make things simple, you're going to want to try to find a home below that, because if you're going above $726,000, then you're going to have to get a jumbo loan, most likely, which is where you're going to have to pay 10-20% down payment as opposed to a 3.5% down payment that you would have to pay on an FHA loan. So we're trying to find a home that's a little bit cheaper here, but if you're in that L5, L6, L7 range and you're getting a pretty big bonus, you might have enough money, working there 2-3 years, you're gonna have enough money to be able to put that 10-20% down payment, but you don't want to. So every year, the ceiling, they're supposed to raise it. I don't think it happens every year, but they're trying to raise it every year because, Silicon Valley, the average price for a home is about $1.2 million in Santa Clara County. So, how is somebody supposed to save up, 200-300 grand unless they have that software engineering job? And then if you go over to Trulia.com, and let me start up my screen recorder right here. If you go over to Trulia.com, you're going to be able to use this tool called it's the mortgage rate tool, and you can look at your zip code, and this is going to give you like real numbers and real quotes kind of live, basically as if you were to look up airport flights or anything like that. They're going to be giving you kind of live quotes that are generated through all of these different, Citibank, New America Funding, through their algorithm, whatever, right? So we're going to put the purchase price at around $750,000 for right here, and we're going to say a down payment of 3.5%, and you've got a credit score above 760, which you should if you're making that much money. And military veteran, advanced, single family home, 30-year fixed, 15-year fixed, and let's click get rates. So we've got a normal interest rate, which is 3.25% right here, and the normal interest rate on these loans are going to be your cost for acquiring that loan, but the APR is a better way to look at it because it's taking into account broker fees and all of that kind of stuff, and every fee that they have over a long period of time. So the APR is a better way to compare these different quotes. That's the number you're going to be looking at, and it's pretty much always going to be the same, if not higher than the normal interest rate, unless the person that's giving you it is giving you basically a deal in order to try to get you into this. Okay, so with all of those rates aside and everything, your monthly payment is basically going to end up being about $3,205. If you go over here, let's see. So we've got $765,000 property, and we're putting 0.035 down. So you're going to be putting about 30 grand down. You're going to have a monthly payment of about $3,205 a month. And if you go over to the California property tax calculator that's available on smartasset.com, the average county tax rate is 0.745%, which is going to bring your property taxes up to about $8,000. So after all of that, you're looking at your take-home pay is going to be about 60 grand after all of the taxes and everything, and paying for your house and all of that. But that's not accounting for if you were to use the down payment money straight out of your take-home pay, which obviously would bring that down about another 100%. So what you're realistically going to be, looking at is $50,000 to $60,000 to work with after everything else is considered. And then what you can factor into this is, hey, you're getting free food in the day from Google, and potentially you're riding the bike, taking the bus. There's a lot of people around here that make good money, but we have a pretty good transit system around here, so they hop on the light rail, train, bus, and just get to work pretty easily. Another thing you can do is you can move a little bit further out to decrease the cost of your down payment and your monthly payment. You could go up to Brentwood if you are a single breadwinner by yourself, don't have family, spouse, and all of that. Go over Brentwood, somewhere a little bit further out, an hour or two out, take the train in the morning, get a 2, 3, 4 bedroom house for about the same amount of money that you're going to be paying here. And you could rent out a few of those rooms and essentially, be staying there for, free, or be staying there for, a few $100s a month because everybody else is covering the rest of that. And you're able to build up equity and, get an asset on your side. And so I think that's about all I got for you guys. If you want me to check out more, companies, Microsoft, all that kind of stuff, and go over more of these kind of things, let me know. If there's anything I can do to improve these videos, let me know down in the comments. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.